1, 2, 3, is Kevin here? Yep. All right, if everybody's present, we will try to bring this meeting to order. We're going to have the invocation done by Pastor Steve Ferris. Please stand. I'd like your assistant.
Father, we thank you for your goodness and grace. We just thank you for this great place we live, the beautiful weather we're having. And Lord, thank you that the hurricanes have not been through here this year. And we just want to give you praise for that. Lord, I just pray your blessings on this meeting. Lord, it's hard to please everybody, but I know they do the best they can. And Lord, we thank you for serving. We'd ask for you give them wisdom tonight, and bless this nation, bless this country, and thank you for all the people that watch over us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Well, we don't have our regular Pledge of Allegiance person, so if you'll follow me, your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, if we could have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved, sir.
Thank you.
Second.
Second by Ms. Trammell. We'll do a roll call vote. Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Tori Gow here.
I'll vote yes,
Trammell, yes.
Yes.
and that passes unanimously. Now, we're going to have a presentation from the Choctawhatchee Basin Alliance on the annual NPDES water quality. Thanks.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Kayla Wingard. I'm the Monitoring Program Manager for the Choctawhatchee Basin Alliance, and I am back again this year to give an update on our collaboration with City of Destin for the NPDES program. All right. And also for this presentation, I'm going to kind of go quickly through the things that I say every year, you know, the who CBA is, because I think we all are familiar by now. So just really quickly, reminder, the Choctawhatchee Basin Alliance CBA is a nonprofit organization. Our mission and our vision is to protect and sustain healthy waterways throughout the watershed, and we do this through 4 program areas: monitoring, education, restoration, and research. Next slide. Oh, over there. No worries. And if I go through anything too quickly, feel free to email me or ask questions after the presentation if I go too quickly. Well, while we're waiting, I'll just say that we are housed within the Northwest Florida State College. We are about 9 paid staff members, and we have thousands of volunteers who help us get our work done.
We can see it as well.
Oh. Well. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you for coming to our friends and family to receive that. Yeah.
Well, while we get to it, I wanted to thank you for coming. I remember when there was no Choctaw Basin Alliance, and times were tough, and you all have made a tremendous difference on the quality of the bay, and we appreciate it. And I don't know if people understand, for a while we didn't have anybody taking care of the bay, so
Right, yeah.
we appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate working with you. We did get our slides back up, but like Tamara was saying, we just awarded City of Destin our personal, CBA Friend of the Watershed Award because we are so happy to partner with y'all in all the ways that we do. So up on this slide is kind of focusing on the way that we partner with y'all through the MPDES program. So that's the EPA's National Pollution Discharge Elimination System. And our role as CBA is doing our part through public education and outreach, public involvement and participation, and pollution prevention. So all of those areas are focused with the mission of reducing pollution that is discharged to this area. So now I'll go into each of those areas that we partner through and go through the updates for this past year. So for public education and outreach, we have a Grasses in Classes program, and over the past year, we partnered with Destin Middle School. So these were 5th grade students, about 8 classes that totaled almost 200 students, and this is a curriculum where the students grow salt marsh grasses at their schools. They have modules that focus on environmental education, water quality, and at the end of the year, we all go to a field trip where they prepare the plants for planting on a living shoreline, and that's what that picture is there. So this past year was almost 200 students with Destin Middle School, and we were very happy to get to continue that program with them. We also, for our education and presentations, we go to community groups. So we always, each year, go with the Destin, Florida Leadership class for their Waterways Day. We also have returned to the Rotary Club of Destin and our Salt Strong Fishing Club here locally. So at these presentations, we're covering who CBA is, what we do, and the ways that our community, groups or individuals themselves can get involved with environmental stewardship through restoration or things they can do on their own with pollution prevention. Okay, and so one of the ways that our communities can get involved are through these cleanups. So CBA has helped been assisting with various cleanups that happen throughout the year. Each year, this is Earth Day at the beach cleanup at Noriego Point, as well as our International Coastal Cleanup. So over those 2 cleanups, we logged about 100 pounds of trash being collected. And then outside of these, we always encourage community members to conduct cleanups wherever they are, whenever, and log them through the CleanSwell app, and that's how we keep track of what and how much of marine debris is collected. All right, so we also encourage everyone to participate to the CBA Watershed Biodiversity Project on iNaturalist. And this is just another way that anybody, individuals, kids, adults can get involved by contributing to biodiversity observations in this area. These observations, through a series of quality and assurance steps, can be research grade and used by scientists and ecologists to learn more about the biology and ecology of this area. So that's something that we always promote as well. And our water quality monitoring program, and this is really what I focus most of my time on personally, is a monthly sampling program that we have throughout the watershed because CBA works watershed-wide, but here in City of Destin, we have 6 different stations, and so these are 4 in the Destin Harbor, and 2 in the Destin Harbor, and 4 outside of the Destin Harbor around Joe's Bayou, Indian Bayou. So at these different stations, we are collecting water samples that get sent off to the lab and collecting in the field measurements. And we are very happy to partner with Luther's Pontoon, as you can see there, to help get that monitoring in the Destin Harbor done, because that can be really tricky with boat traffic sometimes. All right, so this is just a map of where those 6 stations are located. Next slide. And again, these are just on paper the parameters that we are looking for monthly and that we send off to the lab and the results that we get back from the lab. So for now, we'll focus on that bottom half that we work with our partners at Lake Watch for our nutrients. That's total phosphorus and nitrogen and chlorophyll, and we'll be looking at some of those results up next. Before we look at those results, what this slide is showing us is the numeric nutrient criteria that FDEP sets. So these are the numbers, the values of what concentration of these nutrients is acceptable to have in your water. These are averages annually, and these are criteria, these are values that you don't want to surpass more than once in a 3-year period. So that's kind of relative how we're going to look at these results, how they compare to that criteria there. So on this map, everything that is a green dot is a station of ours, and green means it did not surpass that criteria. So what we're looking at right now is the western part of the bay, and it's also showing stations that do not, are not within the City of Destin limits, but you can see that everything that is in City of Destin, in the harbor there, for total phosphorus, nitrogen, and chlorophyll, did not at any time pass, or on average, did not pass that criteria. So that's all good news there. This next slide, now we're moving over a little bit to get the rest of the stations that are in the City of Destin limits there. And there's just one station in Indian Bayou that did exceed, you can see in the bottom left for chlorophyll, there's just one station where it did exceed that criteria, that threshold for chlorophyll that we wanted to see. In general, these criteria are looked at for the region as a whole. So for the region as a whole, it did not surpass, but that one station did exceed for 2024 data. That's how we get our data, is in yearly chunks, so the most recent yearly chunk is that 2024. Okay, and then these are just other ways that you can look at the data through our annual reports that we release. So these are all available on our website. So in addition to, your phosphorus, nitrogen, and chlorophyll, we also have salinity, pH, and dissolved oxygen on there, and you can see how our readings are changing or trending over time. This slide is brand new. I haven't presented this before because we just upgraded our water quality dashboard online. So now you can look at the results of water quality by region altogether, by station individually. You can select multiple parameters to look at the same time. Say you wanted to look at how the levels of nitrogen correspond to the levels of chlorophyll that you're seeing, or local precipitation data, because that influences your water quality greatly too. Those are all things that you can see on this new water quality dashboard that we have online. Okay, and then the last part of our MPDES program area is our pollution prevention. So that's our monofilament recycling program. In the last year, we had 25 miles collected from our City of Destin station. So there's 5 monofilament bins, 4 in the Destin Harbor, and then 1 at Joe's Bayou boat ramp. So we have 1 local volunteer who helps us collect and clean and process to then have this monofilament line recycled out of the landfill, out of harm's way, and recycled into something new. And we also work with our Oyster Corps staff, that's a conservation corps group, to help us maintain those bins. And oyster shell recycling, we are also taking oyster shells out of the landfill and recycling those into restoration projects. We work with 4 City of Destin restaurants, Back Porch, Boathouse, Bertula's, and Johnny O'Quigley's. And in the last year, we had almost 90 tons of oyster shell prevented from going into the landfill and put into our oyster shell staging area, which is used for restoration events, and also our oyster gardening program. And on the next slide, oh yeah, we're talking about what we're doing looking forward. So our oyster shell gardening program, we work with homeowners who have properties on the bay, but we have also been working with local businesses. Again, Luther's Pontoon, we have several vertical oyster gardens hanging from the docks there, and we're looking forward to expanding that project, hopefully to a 1 million oyster project. And working with other organizations in the Destin Harbor. Also looking forward, we want to expand our education into Destin High School with our Shoals program that has a seagrass restoration focus for that curriculum. All right, and that's all that I have for you, and that's our contact if you have any questions.
Thank you. Question?
Do you know why the chlorophyll level went so high in Indian Bayou?
So I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with FDEP's blue-green. They have a blue-green algae tracker, and so that station map is all the stations that we have, but there have been elevated levels in Keller Lake that have been tracked over the last couple months. As to the causes, that's not something that our report addresses. But we just have, that elevated level. I will say that that area, there were 2 stations that surpassed it last year, and this year it's just the 1 station instead of the 2 that are back in Indian Bayou. So it has changed a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? Mr. Braden? How's this end? Kevin?
Thank you for coming again. I always love it every year. The vertical oyster, can you please send the easiest way to Tamara of how people can sign up for that?
Yes.
I'm sure I could have reached out this past year, but, because that should be distributed. We have so many people that I know see John's information, and they're like, I want to do that, and then we all just forget.
And now
about
that
it.
we've gone to the vertical oyster
They're
garden,
off
it's
their
so
ducks.
easy.
Right, that's what I've heard. So if you
Yeah.
could please, whatever the easiest form to get that to Tamara, then we can share that with the city. That'd
Yeah,
be amazing.
that'll be through Tucker Reynolds. He coordinates that program,
Okay.
and I will give his email to Tamara so that she
Thank you
can,
very much.
distribute. Yeah.
Thank you. You have one? Oh, yes, sir.
I appreciate it. One, I wanted to say thank you. I did go with the crew one year out there with John on John's
Awesome.
pontoon. It was a nice experience. I do have a question, and maybe you can help me answer this. Are you all funded by the state?
So we have various funding sources and grants that we apply for. It depends on the project. We do work with DEP on several projects, as well as EPA and Okaloosa and Walton counties. So it depends.
Okay. Well, then maybe you can help me with this, because I'm trying to understand who would be responsible for this, because I don't really think it's your organization, but maybe you can guide me in the right direction. Florida Statute 514 says that we're supposed to be monitoring these waterways for fecal coliform biweekly. Do you know if anybody's out there doing that, or what organization I
That
can
would be,
contact?
the Department of Health through their
Department
Healthy
of Health
Beaches.
is doing that? Mm-hmm. All right, because it's hard for me to believe during the summer with all those pontoons, we're not exceeding that 126 gallons per 100 milliliters of
Yes,
water.
so they
I'm
have-
just trying to figure out who's tracking it, if we're tracking it, and I truly appreciate your help with that. Thank you so much.
Of course. And there's a link to that dashboard and that information on our dashboard in additional resources tab if you want to go through that route. But
Wonderful.
it's Healthy Beaches, yeah.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming. I would support Kevin's talking about the gardens. It's no coincidence that when the oyster beds were thick in Choctawhatchee Bay was very clean. The amount of water that a single oyster filters every day is pretty astounding. And so the more people we can get to put those out, we're taking positive steps forward, cleaning the bay up.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now is the time for public comment. We will start on this side of the room. Anybody that has public comment, please come up. You have 3 minutes. Okay.
She's coming. She just raised her hand. She wasn't sure the process.
Please state your name and address and tell us what we need to know.
Can you hit the gray button?
Hit the button so the thing comes on. There you go.
Good evening. My name's Frost Jones, live at 725 Gulf Shore Drive, Harbor Landing. And I'm here with my friend Faye, she's also a Holiday Isle resident. I'm standing here as a very little person with a bit of concern about the land grab at Noriega Point, the $83 million. Everyone knows about it. My understanding is a fundamental constitutional principle is that taxpayer funds, meaning the taxpayer has a say in how the funds are spent. And so, again, my understanding is the state purchased the land, I'll use the word secretly or behind closed doors, without public input. And originally that parcel was purchased for $10 million 7 years ago, and now has an exorbitant price of over $20 million per acre. It's been touted as perhaps it would be for conservation purposes, only because it didn't pass the perk test for a condominium building there. But as a homeowner on Holiday Isle, that perhaps that 4-acre parcel would then marry to the current 8-acre, so making it either 12 or 16 acres collectively. Traffic comes to mind if it's going to be a state park there with 100 parking spaces, going up and down a 2-lane road, as you enter and exit Holiday Isle. I'm getting to my question. What, if anything, can be done? My understanding is this was rather a contentious effort, rather communication or non-communication with the mayor's office, and he characterized it as a bittersweet transaction because he was persona non grata and not welcome in those meetings, in fact banned or even had a gag order where he was not allowed to be in those meetings. So my question is, if at anything at this late juncture, and the property's not closed, won't close for 3 months, what can the public do, if anything, some advisements, what I'm hoping for, would like to understand how this was it certainly is a public interest, but we were not invited. And so any recommendations would be welcome.
Thank you for your comment. We're just here to listen during this session, but I think there will be opportunity for public input before anything happens. So we look forward to your participation.
And will there be notification of that on the website, or?
At the moment, no, there hasn't been that I know of.
Okay. So just hang tight.
I'm sorry?
I said we should just hang tight.
Well, stand by.
Stand by. All right, let me do it.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. I need to leave that thing on all the time, don't I? Okay, we're going to move into the consent agenda. We would entertain a motion.
Rodney made the motion, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, then in that case, we will vote. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
Ms. Trammell?
Trammell, yes.
I vote yes.
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 Okay, that passes unanimously. Now we will go into the city manager report. City manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item is 4A, is through our projects and grants manager. This is the FDOT state-funded grant agreement for the $2 million TRIP grant for Crosstown Connector. This is the grant agreement that we need to take action on, and upon your approval, we will return it to the DOT for their sign-off. And once that's done, they will issue a notice to proceed, at which time we will be ready to move forward with the procurement process for the construction phase of the Crosstown Connector. We anticipate having the procurement documents ready for your next meeting. And regardless of whether we have the notice to proceed back from DOT or not, we'll bring that to you and ask for your approval pending their notification. And as soon as we get that, we'll put it on the street. So tonight's action will be to approve the grant agreement.
Absolutely.
Move to approve the grant agreement.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Trammell, second by Tori. Any discussion?
I see it.
Kevin?
No, there's just another motion that we have to make in addition to. So we'll do that next.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll vote on this motion. Kevin?
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes.
That passes unanimously.
So the other one says, City Council adopt amendment of the FY26 budget to increase capital grant revenues and expenditures by the $2 million.
Second.
Okay. Discussion on that one. And then is that associated with the
So
previous?
just for clarity, what we're asking y'all to do is to approve the resolution that's attached to the agenda packet, and that is a requirement of FDOT to accept the grant.
All right, well, it doesn't sound like we have any discussion. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
Ms. Trammell?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 That one passes unanimously also. City Manager?
Thank you, sir. Next item is 4B. This is regarding the Florida retirement system. In your packet, there is a chronology of events that have taken place over the last few months leading to tonight. At the last meeting, a motion was made by Mr. Braden to place on this agenda a motion to rescind the previous action on ordinance 2519CC. So that's what's before you tonight. You can certainly take no action if you so desire. Move to rescind council's previous action regarding that ordinance. And if that happens, then the next order of business would be a motion to direct staff to advertise the ordinance for first reading on the next meeting.
Okay, City Manager, just so I make sure that we all understand, the motion to rescind tonight would place the item on the next agenda with the motion you just spoke of.
I'll ask council, would that take two motions? Yeah. So first
Yeah.
motion be rescind, the second motion would be to, if that motion passes, to move to have staff bring it back for first reading at the next agenda.
All right. Well, in that case, I would entertain a motion on this issue.
I'll make that, Mayor. I move to rescind the council's previous action regarding ordinance 25-19-CC.
All right, do we have a second?
Second. Can I
Evan?
second? Wait a minute, can I second? Yes, I can.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Tori?
I'll say that originally, I voted against this, but I have met with several staff members, and I will change my original opinion and adopt this.
Thank you, Tori. Kevin, any comment? In that case, we will call the vote. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Trammell? I vote yes.
Yes.
No.
All right, that motion passes 4-1 with Mr. Schmidt dissenting.
I'll make that second motion, Mayor. Move to direct staff to advertise ordinance 25-19-CC on first reading.
Second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on this one? All right, we will call the vote. Mr. Schmidt?
No, sir.
Mr. Giles?
Yes.
I vote yes. Ms.
Yes.
Trammell?
Yes.
All right, that one also passes 4-4, 1 no.
On that one, do you mind if I just clarify, is the legislative sponsor going to be Rodney since you made the motion, or did somebody else want to be the sponsor?
Mr. Braden, are you the sponsor?
That's fine with me.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, City Manager.
Thank you, sir. The next item is 4C, and this is regarding the short-term rental software RFP results. If you recall, some time back, in August, we went out to bids for proposals to manage or at least help manage the process of short-term rental registrations, particularly now that we are imposing those on condominiums. We had 5 responses, but only one of those we deemed responsive as they offered all the required services. But the cost that they quoted was way beyond what we think is reasonable, so we are moving that we reject all of those bids. I will say that there were some components of it that at some point may become beneficial, and if we see that, we will bring that back to council. But also along those lines, we've made some significant progress on identifying those condominium units that are short-term rentals. Our IT staff, Andy and his crew, have done a lot of good work. That's whittled it down, so we think we'll have a good database in fairly short order to begin moving that process forward.
Mayor, can I make a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait a minute. I'd like to make the motion that we have staff go ahead and reject all the bids.
We have a second on that. Mr. Giles?
Can I make an amendment to that motion? That although we reject, we make sure city staff is still looking for viable options during the interim.
You
I
can give
thought,
that,
I thought that was kind of understood. Is that not what
Yeah.
we're doing?
I think that it is understood, but also I would add that in the future, if this new program brings in sufficient funding, we may be able to revisit this, a contract like this, in the future,
In the future.
once those funds come in.
very good.
That's fine with me.
Okay, Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
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 Okay, that one passes unanimously, and I'd like to thank the staff for stepping forward and attempting this job, which I'm sure is going to be another added load for them.
Glad to do it, sir.
All right, next update.
Next
on-
item is regarding the parking at Threadgill Park, specifically the spaces that were identified in the right-of-way along Calhoun and Hickory. So we were asked to bring back a proposed cost for those, and so we've put together with our consulting engineer kind of the best scenario that we can. So the surface work for the 30 parking spots will cost somewhere around $200,000. So that's if we had nothing else to do. There are some delineated wetlands on the property, which would require us to do a Phase 1 environmental, and by virtue of there being delineated wetlands, it's going to trigger a Phase 2 environmental. So the Phase 1 would add another $5,000 or so. The Phase 2 could be $20,000 to $50,000, depending on how extensive it turned into. There is a stormwater conveyance structure associated with that property that'll either have to be redesigned, reconfigured. There'll be a cost associated to that, and that could be $40,000 to $50,000. Having all that said and done, there will be some mitigation of wetland property we would anticipate, which would rely on a permit from the Army Corps. So assuming we got an Army Corps permit, first of all, that's going to take probably 2 years based on their current workload, maybe even longer, as we've seen some of the other projects we've got going. But that mitigation, because there is not a mitigation bank in this watershed, could be very expensive. And the consulting engineer floated out a number of between $200,000 and $300,000 just for that part of it. So all in, these spots would probably be somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 each, and 2 to 3 years out. So that was the report we were asked to bring back tonight, so that's what's for your consideration.
Well, wish we had a better report.
I understand.
Discussion on the issue, Kevin? Anybody else? Okay, do we have a motion at all on this issue?
I'll make a motion to reject, take no action in this direction.
I think we don't need a motion to reject,
Yeah,
just to take
no action is being
no
requested,
action.
and no
Yep.
action to leave us at the status quo, and we're not doing anything with it until you tell us otherwise.
Sounds good.
This is just for the right-of-way that
Yes.
you were asking, just for further clarification, right?
Right, I just wanted to make sure we were doing our due diligence,
Right.
just to make sure there wasn't another option.
Yeah.
That's what we're rejecting.
Just for that one
No
section.
action for that one section.
That's it, and
That's
we are
correct.
still moving, however slowly, toward the 70-plus parking spaces on the other piece of property. City Attorney, any word on that at all?
I've been in discussions with the representative of the property owner, and they have some concerns about the city's level of interest in the property now, given the comments at the last meeting. They rejected our counteroffer for a longer time period. I did increase, based on council's directive, the earnest money, which would have become non-refundable during the period of time where we were looking at the rezoning and future land use. So as of now, there's no contract on the table. If you all want me to go back with something else and continue to try to negotiate, I'd be happy to.
Council?
Where are we at? go back to the table? What do you mean?
We started out with a 30-day closing, which is something that the seller liked, a purchase price of $400,000. And we did not initially have a period of time to review the parking. That due diligence period was not there, that contingency was not there, and the contingency for the future land use and rezoning. So I did not at any point try to increase the purchase price.
But didn't at the last meeting, we asked for 60 days or 45 days or something? What do you
We're
mean?
down to, we went up to 45 with the seller.
And they're saying,
They said no. We were at 30, they liked 30. We went up to 45. We actually started at 75. They said no, came down to 45, and no again.
And we increased the money down.
We did from $3,000 to $10,000. We're still within the appraisal. I have a little bit of room if council wants me to go up a little bit over 400, or we can not.
well, I know that
Yeah.
we previously discussed at that meeting being able to make that offer to the appraised value. So you do have that room from the council already, right?
Yes. But there were two appraisals, and we are in line with one and slightly under the other, so,
The city's appraisal though.
yeah.
Okay. So is there room?
There's a little bit of room, but like I said, the seller had some concerns about the city's level of interest based on the comments, you know, and I informed them that we had sent the letter out to the neighbors, and we asked for any concerns to be brought to the city council. I don't see anybody here tonight for that, so Daniel, has staff received any concerns or responses to the letter we sent out?
Let me confirm, but I have not seen any come through.
And-
No, ma'am, we have not received any comment from the letter we sent out.
And just on that note, we notified the same adjoining property owners that we would via a development order per the code. So we reached out to the same ones that would be notified were it 300 feet, were it going through the development order process.
I mean, for me, I would go back to what the council, I guess, approved, which was a little bit more room to the city's appraised value, and I would try to keep it at 30 days if we can get
I mean, I
the
guess
future land use.
I don't, so I guess that's my concern, the 30 days. I don't know that we can complete a future land use amendment and rezoning in 30 days. It's actually probably impossible with the reviews that need to take place. But, I mean, if council knows what they want to do about the rezoning and the future land use, then you are the deciding body on that.
When was the notice sent to the neighbors? Just curious.
Right
the
after,
meeting?
right after the last meeting, within days.
Gotcha.
I can ask
I
the
don't know,
seller.
I don't know what else to really say. I mean, I think it's a need. There's a problem with parking. If we can't do it in 30 days and the seller doesn't want to give us more than 30 days, I think we're in a tough position. What do you think?
Well, if you go up to the appraised value, there is a little more wiggle room. We
I
could
will
al-
try to go up a little bit.
I'd authorize that, but
Okay.
we have to have the time, because after all, we can't say we're going to approve a zoning change before we even have a hearing. That's not quite legal. So,
But you could know what you're going to hear back from the public.
no, we can know that, but we still have to have a public hearing.
You have to have two public hearings and a LPA meeting, and you have to have state review of the comp plan amendment, which is why I'm saying, I agree, it's impossible within 30 days, but you can at least have, you know that the property owners within 300 feet are aware of it,
Yeah.
at least.
That's the only choice we have is to go up on the purchase price, because it sounds like the other two are the ones that are hanging us up. And I don't know how we can do that any,
Okay, well, I'll stay within the
More
appraised value
expeditiously.
and see if we can go up a little bit and keep it at 45 days, and I will report back to you at the next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. City manager, what else do we have here?
Item 4E is just your quarterly report on the attendance of the volunteer committees and your appointees to those committees. No action needed or requested. 4F is for just our announcements. I have 2 or 3, and then Dr. Young has some. Update on Joe's bio, we've probably gotten a dozen responses back to our inquiry as to evidence base of silly things going on in the bayou, for lack of a better way to put it. So we're collecting those via a number of channels, and we'll have you a better roll-up and of that at the next meeting, give you a little more detail of what's come in, but over the next couple of weeks, we probably will get some more. So we're pleased that the public is helping us with that. We were notified mid last week that the legislative delegation meeting that was scheduled to be here on October the 30th had to be rescheduled. And it wasn't until after we published our agenda that we were notified that the only date they can reschedule it is December the 15th. Of course, we immediately said, well, we have a council meeting December the 15th, and absent the action by council, the chambers would not be available. We asked them to allow us to get through tonight's meeting and ask council if you would like to either move the meeting, or I think it's been a practice in the past, only have one meeting in December, but to make the facility here available. And they were not willing to give us that time frame. So the meeting now is scheduled for December the 15th at the County Commission Chambers in Shalimar. So our question to council tonight is, do you have any desire to move our December 15th meeting, or to only have one meeting in December to accommodate the ability for each of you and staff to attend that legislative delegation meeting?
Council, opinions on that?
Okay.
Go ahead, Sandy.
I'll make a motion that we move it to the Tuesday, the 16th. Our
Okay, so
meeting.
to be clear, we would have 2 meetings in December, the regular meeting on December 1st, and then we would switch the regular meeting on the 15th to the 16th, correct?
That's it.
So
Yep.
Tuesday, 6 PM.
Do we have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion? Kevin?
Yes.
Tori?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
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 Okay, that one passes 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only other announcement I have is Lisa Gunderson, who is going to be doing our visioning session, is asking to meet with each of you individually. Sherry from my office will be reaching out to you to schedule that time, and we'll have a conversation between now and then and look at some dates, and hopefully our next meeting we'll have some suggested dates to hold that visioning session in early next year. But glad to get in front of it and have time to prepare and have a good session.
Sounds good.
Good evening, Council. I do have just a number of announcements. Our city manager referenced the Joe's Bayou responses that we're seeking from the public. For those that would like to send in anecdotal information or videos, please email that to publicinfo@cityofdestin.com. And again, we'll work to get all of that information out to the city manager and the city attorney, who will share with you. We have our annual open house this Wednesday, October 22nd, and that's from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is our opportunity to say thank you to the community with a free lunch and music, and just a really nice opportunity to talk about the progress we have in a number of projects. So the entire community is invited to that, and it's at the community center. We received a grant from the USDA Forest Service in cooperation with the Florida Forest Service. Thanks to this, we were able to plant 12 trees. It was a mix of live oak, willow, holly, and maple, and those were planted at Kell Air Nature Walk and the Nancy Weidenhammer Dog Park. We have a link to a QR code up on our website homepage that goes to our latest Parks and Rec survey. For those people that would like to fill that out that haven't had an opportunity to do so, we do encourage you to go check that out. We'll close out the survey at the end of the first week of November, so you still have a little bit of time to fill that out. This Thursday, October 23rd, we have a very busy night. We've got the Harbor and Waterways Board meeting at 5:30 p.m., and at the conclusion of that meeting, or at the beginning at 6:15 p.m., whichever is later, there will be a combined Harbor CRA, Harbor Waterways Board and Public Works Safety meeting for the purpose of discussing the Marler Bridge design. Mr. Bradley Touchstone of Touchstone Architecture will be in attendance to share his input and ideas regarding the bridge with the committees. And both meetings are open to the public, and the public is encouraged to come. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move into public hearings. City Attorney, please proceed.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The first public hearing is for the Destin Elementary School addition. This is a major development order, number 001522, 2025. And here, on behalf of Okaloosa County School Board, we do have a couple of individuals. They are requesting approval of 75,000 square feet of classroom space, offices, and a teacher's lounge. And as you know, the proposed project is at 633 Kelly Street. So here, the council is basically just looking at whether the development meets the comprehensive plan. The school board, via statute, is exempt from a lot of our land development code regulations, and they have their own building permitting and inspections. So we are basically looking at comp plan, and staff has determined that the development order is consistent with the comp plan, so we're recommending approval.
All right. I think we need a motion to approve.
Motion. I move that the city council approve the Destin Elementary School addition, a major development order as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
The only other thing I would say is just quickly open up for the public hearing.
Minor detail there. Oh, public. Anyone who would like to speak on this issue, this is your opportunity. All right. Seeing none, we now have the motion. Any discussion by anyone?
It's about time.
Yeah, and I want to thank the school board. That is quite an impressive amount of construction that's going on over there. It looks good. All right, Mr. Braden.
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Trammell. I vote yes. Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that passes unanimously. Next one up.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So the next one up is the Shores at Crystal Beach. This is another major development order, number 001655, 2025. The proposed project scope includes the expansion to the existing parking lot and the construction of an additional parking lot for the Shores at Crystal Beach access. This will consist of expanding the existing western parking lot to include 19 standard parking spaces, 1 ADA accessible spot, while adding 34 LSV parking spaces in the new eastern lot, along with a restroom facility, dune walkover, and the associated infrastructure. The city's technically the applicant here, but we also have our partners at the county here, Mr. Craig Coffey and Commissioner Drew Palmer. If you have any questions, you can let us know, but otherwise, we recommend approval.
All right, well, we'll open it up to the public at this time. Any public comment? Well, yep, when there's no comment. I did that backwards last time. All right, now we will entertain a motion.
I move the city council approve the Shores at Crystal Beach, a major development order as presented.
Second by Mr. Braden. Discussion? I see none, other than I'm going to just have to say that this is a wonderful example of how we can get things accomplished when we work together with the county. This is a very, very good project. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Tori?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
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 Okay, that passes unanimously. All right, now we are to comments and presentations from the mayor and council. Kevin, we can start with you.
Sure. A couple things. There was
Although, yeah, I guess we're supposed to start as the agenda says, huh?
whatever
Yep.
you like, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, well, we'll start with Mr. Braden and go through the agenda in its present order.
Snooze, you lose, buddy.
He's got a time yet.
Right. I was speaking with the attorney earlier. I'd like to be the legislative sponsor I'd like to bring back this, the code for this
Freeboard.
freeboard height on the FEMA
Yeah.
whole deal.
So what we talked about was amending the code to remove the city's additional 2-foot freeboard requirement beyond what FEMA requires for homes that are existing and that are having an addition put on or a remodel, if the cost of the improvements or the square footage of their house are less than 50% of the current value or size of the house. So if you want to be the legislative sponsor to that, based on our conversation, I would bring back that ordinance at a future meeting.
All right.
That would be great. Do we need to have that in a motion or no?
I'm good with consensus if everyone understands what the ordinance is and is not voicing any objection.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we not bringing back the ways to get the points? Are these two different things? That's new construction. I just, clarification.
Yes, we are, and they are kind of two different things. What my understanding is, we'll only lose about 3 points
Okay.
in this process, so that's what we'll look to make up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Because even though the points were, 100 at a time, we were only going to move down 3 into the next category. So it wasn't as bad as previously expected, and staff is working on that.
All right.
But that would be for all new and existing construction. What the ordinance we're talking about would be for existing homes that are being remodeled.
Any other discussion? Okay. Mr. Braden, you have anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to bring that back because I think, one of our homeowners said their flood insurance was $900, and that this whole 2 feet of freeboards increasing 5% was $45 a year. So if you're living on the water and you can't afford $45 a year, maybe you need to get off the water. So it's not that, and you get your property rights back. And as you know, Mr. Destin, I don't know what it would cost you, your property on the water as well, but I think you want your property rights. Not to build your house 15 feet up in the air just to save $100 a year. I wouldn't. So that's the whole reason.
Appreciate it.
And to the lady's comment that came up earlier about the $84 million piece of property that the state's buying out on Noriega Point, you might want to go to your county commissioners meeting and express your opinion on that. I was talking about your that $84 million piece of property you're talking about that the state's wanting to buy. It's kind of out of our hands, but I know you might want to go to the county commissioners meeting and speak to them. I know your county commissioner, Drew Palmer's here tonight, and he's wanting to put a commercial marina out there and big commercial project, so you might want to go talk to them. That's where it's going. Yeah. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Trennell.
I just wanted to update you on the Parks Foundation tonight. We had our meeting last Friday, and we are looking into fundraising to redo the pavilion at Clement Taylor Park. So look forward to that. And if anybody would like to donate any money, we're looking for that. We've got an estimate of about $200,000 to redo it the way we want to redo it and make it the size of the schoolhouse that was originally there. And some rendering of the schoolhouse. We're not enclosing it. But anyway, we are now at Post Office Box 9.
Well, that's a good original.
So that's the Parks Foundation, Post Office Box 9. Just send your money, because we don't have $200,000 right now, but we want to raise it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Guile.
I'm just very grateful that Councilman Bagby's on vacation so that we can get out of here at a decent hour tonight. Thank you all very much.
All right. Councilman Schmidt, on that note.
Yeah, a few things. Captain Fulgham, there was some sort of accident hit and run in Beach and Kelly the other day, school morning. Are you able to speak to any of that happened?
So deputy made a traffic stop on a vehicle for doing 30 in the school zone. When he approached when he approached the driver's side of the vehicle, his sergeant was positioned next to the vehicle as well. When he asked the driver for his driver's license, registration, and insurance, the driver took off. He hit the deputy and the sergeant, and a short pursuit ensued after that they canceled almost immediately because there was so much pedestrian traffic and so much vehicle traffic. They did strike a vehicle in the area and obviously left because they were running from us. That person has been identified and a warrant for their arrest is pending.
Thank you. I had some folks asking me, they saw that we were putting up some new rope along the right-of-way on the elementary school and also close to the duck pond area. There's some barriers in the right-of-way. But they were asking me after that happened, on the north side, every morning there's between 20 and 30 cars parked on the right-of-way. And they were concerned that morning after I don't know the high speed chase, but they took note of that, and they were concerned that with what happened, that maybe we should look at the parking on that side as well as a possible safety issue each morning. I'm not sure if that's sheriff or us, but we don't mind.
We'll be glad to talk to Captain
Sure.
George in the sheriff's office and.
Okay.
And,
I'm
look
glad
at what their
nobody was
concern
hurt,
is,
though.
'cause, yeah, absolutely, safety will be the biggest thing.
Thank you. Did we ever get anywhere with the Lee property on Indian Trail? The Lee, L-E-E property?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that Mr. Bagby, I think, was having some conversation with that in the Parks Foundation, so Ms. Trammell may have a better word, but I have not heard anything of late on it.
We could not talk them into donating it, and they want a lot of money for it, is what I can tell you. It's not buildable right now. It truly is not buildable. There's so many easements on it, you can't build anything on it. So they were not interested in selling at this particular point.
Who did an analysis on the easements? Did that something that the city did?
You can look it up. Destin Water Users has a big one going down through there. And the Parks Foundation, when they surveyed the property, we didn't survey it, when we looked at it, the property, down at the end, there's exposed water pipes that go into Indian Bayou. So that was not even feasible to look at for a park, because that part. So we came up to where Indian Bayou Trail comes, dead ends right there to the street. And
Is there actual access to the bayou, though?
no, it's a stream. It's like 6 feet wide, and it's muddy, and it's the storm runoff from all the houses on Indian Trail.
But then that stream goes into the bayou.
That stream, that's why I was asking her about the chloroform count, because that stream goes into that bayou. But it's stagnant right now. When you go down there, unless we have a heavy rain, it doesn't move.
Okay. Larry, do you mind reaching out and finding out what the purchase price is, what he's wanting?
Be glad to.
And report that back to us, because I think somehow or another it got mixed up where y'all were supposed to go talk to Mr. Lee about buying it.
Okay.
And then the Parks Foundation took it over, Mr. Bagby or something.
He
happened,
brought
if
it
you
to
don't
the
mind.
Parks Foundation,
mind at all.
yes.
I mean, I previously talked to Mr. Lee and got a price about a year ago.
Can you share that with us later? Or?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
He gave us $345 was the price amount, but that was not for the whole piece,
It wasn't for the whole piece?
no.
So he doesn't want to sell? Okay.
Well, the reason is, to buy the whole piece, you would have to block off half of it, and it is considered a stormwater drainage.
Gotcha.
So when that subdivision was developed, that piece at the end is stormwater drainage.
Okay.
So that was the problem.
Gotcha. Thank you. Under my name, Charter Review Committee. Our charter that we have that dictates how we operate, right? I think Mr. Destin and many others were you wrote it, right? You were one of the authors.
Yep.
Yeah. I've spoken with many people over the years of different, heard about it at meetings, and I think it would be beneficial to have an opportunity to look at ways to update it, maybe make some tweaks in it. We do LDC rewrites, we do comp stuff, and I think based upon the age of that charter, without having, I don't think we had an amendment to the charter in 20 years or more, maybe, or so. Do you know?
We have amended the charter within the past 5 years.
5 years.
Remember
Correct.
we did the park.
The height of the,
We did the building height, and we
Yeah.
also did the transferability of parks and waterfront. But we
Specific.
haven't had a charter review committee that I'm aware of, maybe.
Right.
Have we ever? I don't know that we ever have.
Oh, yes, we have. It
Okay,
was
so a
about-
couple decades ago.
That's when the mayor became the mayor and was
Yeah.
allowed to vote in
Yeah.
cases of ties. Before that,
Sure.
Okay.
none of that was his authority, or their authority. And that was about maybe 20 years ago.
So we've done it a couple of times for specific things, I guess, that have come up. I know maybe Ronnie, you were here with others in that time, but I believe it'd be beneficial if we could form a committee. And for me to say form a committee, right? I think that's a pretty big deal, right? And I take note of Fort Walton recently did this, and unfortunately, I didn't ask for it early enough, but we now have a copy of their resolution that they did. And it kind of seems very, I think Kim wrote it, so she could probably speak to the legality of it, but it's very well written and articulated about how the committees are formed, the purpose of them, what they're doing. It's just advisory, but the ultimate goal that I'd like to see is we have Kim bring us back a resolution at the next meeting to review, possibly approve, that spells out the Charter Review Committee process. And reading through Fort Walton's, I mean, there's like 6 bullets that spells out how it's formed. We each represent somebody, nominate somebody, have to be a citizen, have to be live here for a year, a voting citizen. Things like the quorum, the committee will choose a chairperson, and then within 6 months, they will bring us back recommendations to consider. We have the ability also to send them items that we think would be beneficial for them to review. That's our way of providing input on some of our thoughts. But then they would bring it back within 6 months, which then allows us, if we want to take action, we would then, according to our rules, have to go to 2 public hearings and then put it on the general election ballot in November of 2026 is my thought. So almost basically a year away, but I think because it takes about 6 months, then we have to get it to Paul, is it Paul Lux?
Yes.
Paul Lux, we have to get him anything. That gives us time. So that's the background. The charter was in your agenda packet, so I'm basically going to make the motion to have Ms. Kopp provide us with a draft resolution at the next meeting to look at like Fort Walton's and allow us to make a decision at that meeting if we want to go forward. Sure. Whatever.
Instead of forming another committee, my suggestion is you give it to all the committees we already have, because many of them haven't even read the charter, and they need to be reading the charter as part of their committee requirement. You'd have them looking at it from a different angle, from the angle for which committee they form, and they would also have other opportunities to look at it in a different way as well. That way there wouldn't be trying to get 7 new people and staff having to attend another meeting. We could still reach out and make it general to all those committees.
I respect it, but I'm not really in favor of doing that. I really feel like it should be individualized. People that are going to be specifically looking at it a certain way, and they can focus just on this one task at hand. I think our committees are already overworked or missing meetings and things like that already, so I think it'd be better to just find 7 new members. Maybe some of them can be on this committee that are on those committees, but
They're only allowed to be on 2, so that's the whole point, Kevin.
well, if they're on 2, then they can, but maybe if they're on 1, they could do it. But also, I think the way that Fort Walton did, it was city attorney, clerk, not many staff members had to participate, I don't think, so that would solve that maybe as well. But anyways, that's a motion. I'm not sure if there's another second or not.
Do we have a second?
Don't we have to have a second for discussion?
Yes.
So let me second for discussion since discussion already happened. How's that?
There you go. Good job. All right. I have just a couple of comments, and I remember an old adage is, don't fix something that's not broken. And the other issues I have with it is, we're talking about forming a committee, of unelected folks to make probably the most important decision that can be made about how the city of Destin runs. I feel much more comfortable leaving it up to those of us that have been elected. And any charter amendment can be put forward as long as 4 members agree on it, or a majority. So we have the ability and the opportunity to change the charter anytime we want, when a majority of the council thinks the change should be made and we go forward and vote. And having witnessed the last time we had a committee, you get a group that gets together and they come up with ideas that they like, and then we're pretty much obliged to put it on the ballot because they've worked for months and months. And, you know, oftentimes it comes up with conclusions that I think are contrary to the benefits being made by appointed rather than elected people. So I would not vote to support it, but as I say, any amendment that any member thinks is appropriate can be put on the ballot with 4 votes on this council. And, you know, we can entertain and discuss any such changes at any time.
No.
No.
I'll just say yes to make him.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so that motion failed on 3 to 2 votes. Okay, I don't have anything tonight. I wouldn't want to mess up our rapid approach to adjournment.
Kevin almost read it for us.
Yep. Was that everything you had, Kevin?
The city attorney has.
Yes, sir.
City Attorney.
Council, pursuant to Section 286.00118 Florida statutes, I desire the advice of council at an executive session to be held on December 1st, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the following litigation. F-129 versus City of Destin. It's case number 2023 CA 3643 in the Circuit Court of Okaloosa County, Florida. Present at the litigation will be myself, our litigation counsel, William Warner, the city manager, Larry Jones, the mayor, and all members of the city council. And again, that we're talking about December 1st, so we'll be skipping a month.
All right. Anything else?
The only other thing I wanted to say was congratulations to Dr. Larry Jones over here, who just graduated this past weekend.
Very good. Okay, then we have another section of public comments. Anybody missed the first round? Looks like we don't have a public comment. In that case, we will adjourn the meeting.